Hey everybody, welcome back to Yogi Plant and happy vernal equinox. So it's the spring equinox, and tonight we have a practice focusing on connection and balance. So we're going to get started. So if you have a sock or a strap, that would be good to have tonight, as well as your block. And we're going to start tonight in Sukhasana. So I invite you to take an easy pose or a cross-legged pose in the way that feels good for you tonight. And we're going to start bringing our awareness to our mats here tonight. Letting that outside world just take a break for a while. Coming into our breath here. Finding that rhythm of equal inhales and exhales through your nose, with that pause at the top and the pause at the bottom. As you're coming into your breath here, I invite you to sit up a little taller, broaden through the collarbone, drop those shoulder blades down your back. And as you're exhaling, drawing that lower abdominal area just gently in towards your spine, giving your core a nice, strong lift. So vernal equinox or spring equinox, that is the day that the day light is exactly the same amount of time as the night. So I do believe it was Saskatchewan time, like around 9:40 or something last night. That's when it kicked in. So yeah, it's a good day to think about balance and connection and all that jazz. Finding ways that you can find balance and connection in your life. So I invite you to just let your hands drop down on either side of your thighs. And we're going to move swiftly through the chakras. So invite you to start to breathe into your red chakra or your mudra chakra, which is at the pelvic floor. And on your next inhale, moving up to your sacral chakra or your orange chakra, which is in that abdominal region. From there, moving up to the solar plexus chakra, which is your yellow one, and it's just above your navel. And then breathing into your heart chakra, your green chakra, and on your next inhale, moving up to your throat chakra, your blue chakra, And on your next inhale, moving up to that third eye chakra, which is right here, kind of in between your eyebrows. Indigo is the color. And on your next inhale, moving up to your crown chakra, located right on the top of your head, which is your white chakra. And we're just going to spend a few breaths here in the crown chakra, as that is our connection to the universe. So continuing your yoga breath here. Through your nose. Being mindful of those pauses at the top and the bottom of your breath. So our hands are down by our sides, behind our thighs, allowing those shoulders to just naturally drop with gravity. And on your next exhale, we're just going to tilt our head to the left or the right, sorry. Doesn't matter. We're going to do both sides. So breathing into that long part of your neck, whichever way your head is tilted. And on an exhale, we're just going to look down, keeping our head tilted. Once again, breathing into that long part of your neck. On an inhale, we'll just come to center. And on an exhale, we'll start by tilting our head the other way. So in my case, I'm tilting my head to the left. And on your next exhale, looking down, same way your head is tilted. Disclaimer, I have a kitten running around the living room. And on an inhale, we'll come to center. On an exhale, we'll look down towards our mat, bringing our chin in towards our chest. Feeling those shoulders continue to drop down our back. And breathing into the back of our necks here. And then on your next inhale, we're going to come up to center, moving all the way up towards the ceiling. And if it feels okay, allowing your head to drop back just a little bit. Breathing into that front part of our throat now. And on your next exhale, coming to center. So we're going to come into a twist here. So we're going to inhale, drawing in our navel area, taking our left hand to our right knee, right hand behind us, and exhaling, twisting through our waist to the right. drawing in our navel. And then exhaling, coming to center. Same thing on the other side. We're going to inhale, drawing in our navel. Right hand to your left knee, left hand behind you. Exhaling, twisting to your left. Sitting up tall. And just gently twisting to the left. And on our next inhale, we'll come to center. And exhaling back to Sukhasana. All right, so for those of you who weren't here for the beginning, if you could grab a sock, that would be great. If not, I'll show you two options for your shoulders. So we're gonna come on to our feet here. So we're gonna tuck our toes under, coming onto our knees, and then we're gonna sit back on our toes. So if you don't have a strap, you can come into eagle arms, pulling your elbows away from you. And if you do have a strap, we're going to take our strap and grab the two sides of it. And then as we inhale, we're going to bring it up over our heads, exhaling it down behind our back. So you can do this at your own speed here. Being sure not to bend your elbows. You want to keep your elbows fairly straight. I mean, obviously not super locked or anything, but straight enough so that the movement is happening through your shoulders. So continuing to breathe here. If you're doing eagle arms, you're going to want to switch sides. Couple more rounds here. And we're all going to meet with our strap in the front. We're just going to put it back to the back of our mats. We're going to come onto our hands, looking at our feet. And then we're going to leave our tops of our feet facing our mat. And we're going to sit down on that. We're just going to do some wrist action here. So we're going to roll our wrists with our hands out. And then we're going to change directions. And we're going to take our right hand, hold out our palm like we're saying stop. And then we're going to inhale our fingers towards us. And on our next exhale, we're going to take our left hand, put it on the outside of our fingers, and just bring our fingers down and drawing our palm towards us. And on our next exhale, we're going to release, coming into our hands. We're going to kick our feet. And then we're going to tuck our toes under one more time. Getting back on our toes, we're just going to get that other wrist stretched out and forearms. So we're going to inhale our left hand like stop. And as we exhale, we're going to pull our fingers towards us. And on your next exhale, we'll just wrap our hand around, bringing our palm now towards us. One more breath here. And as we exhale, we'll bring our hands to the mat, kicking our feet out again. And then we're going to bring ourselves into tabletop here. So your wrists are underneath your shoulders, your knees are underneath your hips. You're drawing in your tummy. Your drishti is facing straight ahead. Continuing to breathe here. We're going to move into bird dog here. So we're going to inhale the right hand up, left hand out behind us, or left foot out behind us. And if it feels okay on your next inhale, you're going to draw that left foot out. Nice strong core, continuing nice strong yoga breath. Looking over the top of your finger here. Exhaling down, back to tabletop. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Inhaling left hand out, right foot behind you. And if it feels good, you're going to inhale that right foot up. One more breath here. And we'll exhale down, coming back to tabletop. All right, we're going to move into cat-cow. So as we inhale, we're going to raise our forehead, tailbone to the ceiling. Get a nice curve in your spine here. And as we exhale, we'll do the opposite. So we're bringing our forehead and our tailbone down towards the mat, drawing in your abdominal area, inhaling back up, and then following your rhythm of cat-cow. One thing you can even play with is switching up your breath. So exhaling into cow and inhaling into cat. And seeing how that feels in your body. One more round here. We'll exhale, coming back to tabletop. Taking in a yoga breath here. And as we exhale, we'll tuck our toes, lifting our bum to the air, coming into our first downward dog. Spreading your fingers. Maybe pedaling a little bit. Maybe moving side to side. And allowing your heels to sink down a little bit, or you might have your knees bent. Your gaze or your drishti looking up towards your navel. And on our next exhale, we're going to bend our knees. Inhaling big steps forward to the top of the mat. Exhaling down into forward fold. Remembering to bend those knees so that your tummy's touching your thighs enough to get your hands on the mat. Inhaling up halfway. Hands on your knees or your thighs or your shins. Exhaling back down. And on our next inhale, we're going to bring our hands all the way up. Coming into salute, reaching towards the ceiling. Exhaling our hands down. Prayer. And down to Tadasana. And I'm going to move over here now so you guys can see me a little better. So we're standing at the top of our mats in Tadasana. Feet can be, together or hip distance apart. Taking a moment here, draw our shoulders back, opening up our collarbone, drawing that abdominal area in. We're going to inhale, coming into salute. Reaching up at the ceiling, exhaling down, hands down to the mat, into forward fold or Uttanasana. Inhaling up halfway, dropping those shoulder blades down your back, exhaling back down. We're going to take our right foot and step it back, coming into a low lunge. Just going to move my block. So you can allow your back knee to drop down to the mat, and you can put the top of your foot down against on the mat if you want. And then your front ankle should be underneath your knee, and you can just scoot it out a little bit to the left. Then we're going to take both hands and put them in to the right of our foot. We're going to come into lizard here. So you're more than welcome to stay right here. If you'd like to go a little deeper, you could use your block. Maybe resting your elbows on your block. Maybe even going, with a vertical block, whatever height's working for you. Being sure not to curve your back too much. You want to keep a relatively straight, healthy back here. Couple more breaths. And then on an inhale, we're going to come on up. If you did have your block, just put it to the left of your foot here. And then we're going to lift our knee up, tucking our toe under, coming into a low lunge. So you can stay here if you like, or if you want to go up a little higher, you can bring your hands to your hips. Woo! And if that feels good, we're going to inhale our hands into the air. One more breath here. We're going to exhale our hands down on either side of our foot, stepping back with our left foot coming into a plank. Drishti straight ahead, and as we exhale, we're going to lower down through Chaturanga Dandasana. The mat. Inhaling up to Baby Cobra. Lifting through our core here. Exhaling back down. Inhaling up through your tabletop, and then exhaling up to Downward Dog. So continuing to breathe here. I'm just going to run and let my cat out. My bag. Keep breathing. Dropping those heels down. Wrist out your towards your navel. Sorry guys, had to avoid a cat fight there. One of them had to go out. All right, so we're in Downward Dog. One more breath here. Exhaling, bending our knees. Inhaling, stepping up to the top of the mat. Exhaling down, forward fold. Inhaling up halfway into Ardha Uttanasana. And your lift is coming from that core area. Exhaling down. And then inhaling up all the way to flute. Reaching up towards the ceiling. And exhaling down. Samasthiti to Tadasana. Okay, we're going to do the same thing, but on the other side. So we're going to inhale our hands up. Exhaling our hands down to forward fold in Uttanasana. Inhaling up halfway. Hands to your knees or your shins or your thighs. Exhaling back down. We're going to take a step back now with our left foot. Coming into that low lunge. Being sure to have your right ankle underneath your right knee. Then we're going to drop that back knee. And then you can keep your toe tucked if you want, or you can try leaving it flat on the mat. Then we're going to scooch that right foot over a little bit, leaving some room here. Taking our right hand, putting it on the inside of our foot. Coming into lizard here. So you can stay right here. This is perfect. Or you can take the option to maybe grab your block. Find a height that works for you, resting your elbows on your block. Drawing in your navel here. You just see kind of ahead. It can be down at the ground ahead of you. One more breath here. We're going to take our block, let's put it on the side of our mat. And then we're going to take our right hand, put it on the outside of our right foot. And then we're going to inhale, lifting our back foot up, back leg up. And you can stay here, or if you like, you can inhale your hands to your waist. Coming into that low lunge. Trying to balance those your weight between your 2 feet. This is okay. Inhaling your hands all the way up to the ceiling. Coming into a low crescent lunge. Woo. Finding that spot on the wall. Drawing in your navel. And we're going to exhale our hands back down. We're going to take that front foot, bring it back to meet the back. Coming into a plank. So your version of plank, you can definitely drop your knees here if you like. And we're going to exhale our body all the way down. Inhaling into baby cobra. Exhaling down. Inhaling up through tabletop. Flipping our toes under and exhaling into downward dog. Spreading those fingers. Double checking that your heels are hiding behind your feet. Pushing through the upper part of, or I guess the underneath your fingers, that fleshy part of your palm. Some people do imagine a bit of a suction cup in their hands. You can just turn your elbow pits out towards the front. On your next exhale, we'll bend our knees. Inhaling, big step up to the front. Exhaling down. Into forward fold. Inhaling up halfway. Exhaling all the way down. And then as you inhale, coming all the way up into salute. Reaching up towards the ceiling. And exhaling down through Samasthiti. Uttanasana. Back to mountain pose. All right, so I invite you to stay at the front of your mat. I'm just going to turn to face you guys. So we're going to do a couple of balancing poses here. First one we're going to do is tree. So we're just going to shift our weight to the right, and we're going to inhale our foot either inside our ankle, inside our calf, or up inside our thigh. So whatever's feeling good for you tonight, bringing your hands into prayer. You can give that standing leg a little bit of a micro bend. You can inhale your hands up like a tree. If you're feeling like that tonight. One more breath here. And on an exhale, we're going to bring our hands to prayer. And we're going to come into four-legged or figure four, standing figure four. So basically your shin is crossed over the top of your thigh, it's not on your knee. And on an exhale, we're going to sink down, kind of like we're going into chair here. So you're drawing in that abdomen or your navel, bending your standing knee. I'm going to turn around now so you guys can see me from the side here. One more breath here. Woo. And then on an exhale, you're going to take your crossed foot and just bring it down to meet the right. Inhaling here. You can straighten up if you like. And then as we exhale, we're going to come into chair. Looking straight ahead. Letting those shoulders drop down your back. Maybe going down a little further if that feels okay. And just ensuring you can still see your toes peeking out at you over your knees here. On your next exhale, we're going to drop our hands to the mat, keeping our knees bent. Forward fold, inhaling up halfway. Exhaling our hands back down. Stepping back first with our right, coming into a quick low lunge, and then bringing our left foot to meet it. Coming into Chaturanga Dandasana. As we exhale, inhaling up into Baby Cobra. Exhaling back down. Inhaling up through tabletop into downward dog. And on your next exhale, we'll bend our knees, stepping forward to the top of our mat. Exhaling down, forward fold. Inhaling up halfway. Exhaling our hands back down. We're going to take our right foot and step it way back out. And as we come on up, we're going to ensure that our back foot is open up almost 90 degrees. Our pelvis is facing the long side of the mat. And we're going to inhale our arms up. Your front knee is over top of your front ankle. And as we exhale, we're going to move into Warrior Two. You might need to lengthen your stance here a little bit. Your drishti or your gaze is over top of your fingers. One more breath here. And as we exhale, we're going to take our front elbow rested on our knee. Alternatively, you can put your hand on the block and put it in front of your foot. Inhaling, we're going to swoop our arm down, reaching towards the front of the room here, and turning our gaze out towards the ceiling. Continuing to breathe, always breathe. On an exhale, we're going to swoop our arm down, coming up, grabbing our block, maybe putting it on the other side here. Now that our feet have been pivoted and they're parallel with the front and the back of the mat, our legs are wide, we're inhaling up, reaching towards the ceiling. And as we exhale, we're going to fold at the waist, coming into wide-legged forward fold. Hands are down in front of us. As we inhale, we're going to look up. And as we exhale, we're going to walk our hands back between our legs, ensuring we have a little micro bend in our knees. Our fingers are facing forward and our elbows are facing backwards. And if you shift your weight a little bit towards your toes, you might find that you're able to just go a little further, maybe walk your hands back a little further. Balancing, of course, so you don't fall over. And on your next inhale, coming up, hands to the waist, coming up halfway. Exhaling here. And then drawing in that navel and inhaling all the way up. And as we exhale, we're going to scooch to the back of the mat. I'm pretty sure scooch isn't a yoga term, but we all know what it means. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing on the other side here. This time I'm just going to face the back of the mat. So first of all, we're going to come into tree. So we're going to shift our weight to our left foot now, inhaling our right foot up to our ankle, to our calves, or to our thighs. Actually, I'll turn around so you guys can see me. So wherever you're at, today, just be sure your foot is not on your knee. Bringing your hands into prayer. Allowing your shoulders to drop down your back. And if it feels okay, raising your arms into the air. Maybe smiling if that feels okay with you today. Woo. Sometimes your foot's going to slip. It's pretty normal. Woo. Well, you guys are probably holding it longer than me. So as you exhale, come on out. And then we're going to move into figure 4. So you might have already done the quick transition there, but basically you cross your right shin across your middle of your thigh or lower thigh, bringing your hands into prayer. And as you exhale, just lowering down, kind of like you're in chair. Finding that yoga breath for stability. One more breath here. And then as you exhale, bringing your foot down. I'm a little off balance tonight. I think it's a Vernal Equinox. Okay, we're going to come into chair now. So we're going to inhale, hands to the air. As we exhale, bringing our hands together, bending our knees. Coming into chair on this side. Drawing in your navel. Shoulders reaching down your back. Drishti straight ahead. And on an exhale, bring our hands down to the mat, coming to forward fold. Inhaling up halfway. Exhaling back down. This time we're going to take our left foot back. And then the right. Coming into plank. And exhaling all the way down through Chaturanga. Inhaling up to baby cobra. Exhaling back down. Inhaling up. Through tabletop to downward dog. Lifting that tailbone up towards the ceiling. Pushing through the fleshy part of your palms. Maybe trying that suction cup we were talking about. And on exhale, bend our knees. Inhaling to the top of the mat. Exhaling down, forward fold. Inhaling up halfway. Exhaling back down. Now we're going to take our left foot, step it way back out. And then we're going to come on up, keeping that front knee bent, making sure your left foot is opening up about just almost 90 degrees. We're going to inhale our arms up. Coming into warrior 2 here. Ooh. It's always good to double check that back hand, hey, because you never know when it starts to go a little bit higher. Nice strong warrior 2 here. Balancing your weight between your feet. Drawing in that navel. And on your next exhale, you can put your elbow on your knee or grab that block, putting your hand down in front of your front foot here. Inhaling your left hand up. Reaching towards the back of the mat this time. And your gaze is up towards the ceiling, or it can be straight ahead. Actively reaching that top hand and balancing your weight between your feet. One more breath here. And as we exhale, we're going to come on up, making our feet parallel with the front and the back of the mat. We're going to inhale our arms up. And this time we're going to exhale, grabbing our toes, making sure we have a micro bend in our legs. Inhaling, looking up, and exhaling, bending forward. Your elbows this time pointing out to the back and the front of the mat. Continuing that yoga breath. Maybe bringing yourself down a little further. And on an inhale, we'll bring our hands to our waist, coming up halfway. Exhaling here. And drawing in that navel, inhaling, coming all the way up. And on an exhale, we'll scooch to the back of the mat. All right, so we're going to come to our back of the mat here. We're facing the front. We're going to inhale our arms up. And as we exhale, we're going to bring our hands down to the mat, pillaring into plank. Definitely have the option to drop your knees here. Inhaling, looking straight ahead. Exhaling, lowering down all the way so you're on your tummy. So you're going to take your hands and just lay them at your side. We're going to come into locust here so your arms are straight and your forehead is facing in the mat. I'm just looking at you guys. Hopefully you can hear me a little better. And on an inhale, we're going to raise our hands and our feet together. So your feet are not touching, but they're raised together. Lifting your chest off the mat. Pushing your pubic bone into the mat. Continuing to breathe here. And on exhale, we'll lower down. You can take your hands and prop them underneath your shoulders. On an inhale, we're going to raise ourselves up through tabletop. Exhaling into child's pose. You can open up your thighs a little bit more. Let your tummy rest between them. You might be pushing through your fingertips here. Giving your shoulders a nice stretch. Always allowing your forehead to come down to the mat here. Maybe breathing into that place where your forehead touches the mat. And there's always the option to grab your block and place your forehead on your block if that feels better in your body. Couple more breaths here. And you're always welcome to wrap your arms around your legs. You do the child pose that works for you. And on your next inhale, we're going to just slowly bring ourselves up. We're going to take our block and we're going to come into sitting on our block. We're going to get ourselves ready for cat face pose. So you're going to keep your left knee bent and your foot drawn into you. Then you're going to take your right knee and just place it over top of your left as best you can. It definitely helps to sit on a block here. It raises your hips a little higher. If this is uncomfortable, there's also the option to cross your legs here. So if you have your strap, you can inhale it up, taking your right hand and working it up through your shoulder blades. And as you exhale, lowering your strap to your right hand, so both hands are gripping the strap. As you're breathing, maybe breathing into that third eye chakra. balancing your sit bones on your block. Nice posture here. Drawing in that navel. And on the exhale, we'll release. And we're going to flip it so that your right knee is bent and your left knee is on top of your right knee. You might need to maneuver yourself a little bit here. Inhaling your right hand up with your strap. Taking your left hand, walking it up between your shoulder blades. And as you exhale, dropping that strap down. And of course, if you combine, like you can grab your fingers, you could do that too. You might find you can bind on one side and not the other. And that's why we have straps. Once again, breathing into that third eye chakra. Exhaling your arms down. And we are going to release our legs here, and we're going to come into onto our knees. So you're on your knees, coming up. Your hips are over top of your knees. We're going to move into camel pose here. So a lot of us will take our hands and place them on our lower back, allowing our elbows to face out away from us. As we inhale, we're opening up our chest. And as we exhale, we're just going to tilt our head back. And a big part of this pose is the strength of your thighs, maintaining your balance here. Continuing to breathe. We're going to exhale and just release. And we're going to come down onto our legs here. So we're going to do a new pose here tonight, guys. It's called rabbit pose. So basically what you're going to do is just raise your bum a bit, and your knees can be a little bit hip distance apart, no more than hip distance apart. We're going to take our hands and just grab our heels here. And then as we're doing that, we're going to place the crown of our head on our mat. So you don't want to be with your forehead here. You actually want your crown to be touching your mat. And this is one of those poses where you're actually going to be rounding your back and breathing into that rounding of the spine. And at the same time, you're kind of pulling on your heels so that you're not putting a lot of weight on your crown. And you're raising your hips into the air. I know there's a lot going on. If this is your first time doing this pose, just concentrate on breathing into your spine and curving your spine. And pulling those heels so that you're not putting a lot of weight into your crown. Like there's definitely some weight there, but not a lot. And on exhale, we'll just release, opening up our thighs a bit and just moving into a child's pose. This time allowing your forehead to touch the mat. And on an inhale, we're going to walk our hands up. And as we exhale, we're going to sit on our bum, bringing our legs straight out in front of us. Coming into staff pose, we're sitting up straight. Our toes are facing our forehead. Drawing that navel in. Nice strong core here. And on our next exhale, we're going to slide our hands along our legs, grabbing where we can. So it could be your shin, could be your ankles, could be your feet. Inhaling, looking up. Could be your toes. And then exhaling, moving forward. Your drishti at your toes. Continuing to breathe here. Breathe. As you inhale, you're lengthening. And as you exhale, you're folding. Inhaling, we're going to come to sitting. We're going to bend our knees. We're going to come into boat pose here. So we're going to inhale our body back, bring our legs up. And you can bring your hands to the side of your knees, or you can touch them. If you're feeling adventurous, you're more than welcome to straighten your knees. Tonight, I'm just going to do this. Feels good for me. So your drishti's at your toes. Breathing into your core. Maybe your hands are palm up. Or they could be sideways. One more breath here. Exhaling our feet down. We're going to lay all the way down onto our mat. Inhaling our knees into our chest. Allowing your shoulders to rest on the mat here, drawing your knees in. Giving yourself a little hug. And on your next exhale, we're just going to put our feet down, knees up. So you can choose if you want to put your arms straight out or into cactus. Inhaling here, and as we exhale, we're going to let our knees fall to the right as we turn our forehead to the left. We're going to inhale our knees up, forehead facing the ceiling. And as we exhale, we're going to let our knees fall to the left, turning our forehead to the right. Settling into this gentle reclined twist. And inhaling our knees up, forehead facing the ceiling. We're going to move into Shavasana here, so you're more than welcome to give yourself one last hug if that's what you're feeling tonight. You can let your legs drop down, letting your arms fall to your sides. Some people like to keep their knees bent. We're coming into corpse pose here. You can let your feet fall from fall to either side. Maybe your palms are facing up. And as we're letting our breath go, maybe sighing out our mouth. We're allowing our tongue to fall away from our teeth. Maybe noticing that space in between your eyeballs and your eyelids. Some people see white light. Some people see other colors. We're going to slowly start coming into our breath here. Wiggling our fingers and our toes. Oh, stretching, how you need to stretch tonight. Giving yourself one last hug. You feel like that's what you want to do tonight. As my kid says, it's up to you. When you're ready, rolling over to your side, resting your head on your arm. Taking a moment here to just be, you know? And hey, we made it to the vernal equinox. So every day we're going to get some more light as the day slowly lengthens and the night slowly shortens. And when you're ready, bring ourselves up to sitting. So thanks again, you guys, for sharing your practice with me. Peace, peace, peace. Namaste.